folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our book for today is Ghosts Beneath Our Feet by Betty Ren Wright and published by Apple Fiction. Now, there is destruction, scary things, and ghosts in this one, so if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, so this is my first Betty Ren Wright book. I haven't heard of her until now. A few weeks ago, my friend Leor found this book in a bookshop in Tel Aviv. And I thought, that looks interesting. I mean, look at that cover. It's definitely eye-catching. And I asked him to buy it for me, because I thought, let's give this one a read. Now, as I said, I haven't heard of Miss Wright, but she used to be a children's book editor, and actually wrote quite a few stories. Apparently, one of her most known ones is the Dollhouse Murders. So that was interesting. I actually went to see, because she passed away quite a while ago in 2013. So yeah, she wrote quite a few, it says here, 28 children's novels. Well, that's very impressive. I would actually like to read the Dollhouse Murders. I read the description, that sounded like an interesting one. So yeah, I picked up this one, started reading it, actually finished it really fast. In like 2 days, although I did start reading it like a week ago, and no more than that. I was just I was in the middle of another book. But yes, so the story of this one, we have a young girl named Katie, or Catherine. Katie, she's going for the summer with her mother and her stepbrother to take care of Uncle Frank. And they're going to this town called Newquay. I have no idea how you're even supposed to pronounce that. Let me find it for you. Yeah, they're going there just to spend the summer to help take care of Uncle Frank. Now, Uncle Frank, there it is. There's that word. There you go. If you can see, I used a higher resolution. I hope you can see that. Newquay. I'm probably butchering that, but that's where they're headed to spend the summer. Yeah, as I was saying, Frank was a friend of Katie's mother's grandfather. It was her mother's grandfather's best friend, and he would come visit them a lot, and he was a really nice man, and he's been in the hospital, and now he's all alone, because his son died 30 years ago, so he has no one to take care of him, which is why they're going. They're also going because, it doesn't specify when, but it was like some months ago, Katie's stepfather has died, or stepbrother's Jay's father. And now it's just the three of them, and she really hopes that going and spending some time in this town will make them a family. Because again, things are very tense, and maybe even that her mother and stepfather weren't even married that long, perhaps. So yeah, that's where they're headed, and Katie pictures this picturesque little town, and it's going to be amazing. But when they arrive, it's a destitute place. There's almost nothing there. That's because it used to be a mining town, but then it just stopped being that because of a terrible accident that happened 30 years ago. So now there's practically nothing there. It's a dead town. And obviously Katie's very disappointed, and they have to go up a little hill to reach Uncle Frank's house. And so, yeah, things aren't going great. Katie's very disappointed. Uncle Frank seems a bit scary at first. But then he's just, lonely there all by himself in his house. And her mother's, though, seems very relieved because now she'll have something that'll occupy her mind off of the grief of losing her husband. Katie's real father died when she was a baby, so can imagine the poor woman's the second time she's losing a husband. So yeah, there's a family that's the lower down the hill, that Katie at first thinks that she ruined a chance to be friends with one of the daughters, but they do end up being friendly. And then there's a guy called Skip that's just trouble that Jay gets friendly with, because the guy has a motorcycle and Jay is obsessed with them. There's a lot of tension in the family because Jay feels like he's not wanted, he's just, because Katie is, the real daughter and he is just a stepson. And as the friction continues between them throughout the book, he's like, I think I'm just going to go back to, they're from Milwaukee. I think that's how you say that. He wants to go back to Milwaukee and then go to a social worker and have her place him in a foster home or something. Which you think you would want to avoid at all costs, going to a foster home. But again, Jay feels like he's all alone. His dad's gone. Now he just has a stepmom and a stepsister who he believes don't want him. He thinks Katie's mom hates him. I'm trying to think about it. I don't know if anyone... They mentioned the mom's name. I can't remember now. So yeah, that's the friction between them. Now, in this town, there's these, legends and ghost stories about the knackers. Now, Katie makes friends with that girl. Her name's Joan. And then there's her grandmother, who gives Katie a message the first day they arrive to give to Uncle Frank, that the knackers are going to come. It's the ghosts of all the miners that died in that accident 30 years ago. And apparently Frank's son was one of them. So, yeah, the message really upsets him. And throughout the book, Katie goes to explore with Joan to all these places. It seems that maybe these ghosts are real. And she also sees a ghost. She sees a girl. I imagine it's probably like 17, maybe. And she sees a girl that's it's got golden hair and a lame leg, or a bum leg. And she really sees her, and the ghost is trying to tell her something, this woman. Now, along the way, there's this like old, where the miners used to go down to the mine, where Jay pranks Katie and Joan by leaving a tape recorder there that has sounds of it sounds like miners are screaming for help. And Katie finds out the next day after she and Joan go to explore there, and when she finds out what he did, she really hates him after that. Now, throughout the book, you're wondering, okay, is she actually seeing something? Not. But in the end, the only ghost that is real is the ghost of this young lady. Her name, I think, was May. And she was supposed to marry Uncle Frank's son. But after the accident, she sat outside of the mine and it was raining. And she ended up with pneumonia and died from it. So Frank was really all alone. He didn't have his son anymore, and neither did he have his future daughter-in-law. And it looks like she was still worried about him because she kept... And each time, Katie couldn't understand what it was that May was trying to tell her. She couldn't understand the words. But after that thing where the miners used to go down in the shaft, apparently Jay also saw her. Jay, because he hangs out with Skip, he gets in trouble twice. Once is because he and Skip break into someone's cottage and, well, they claim they were hiding from the rain and they ate some beans. But then the second time, Skip actually puts fire to a old barn, which could have spread further and destroyed crops. I mean, these poor people already probably have very small incomes. Can you imagine if they lost their crop? It's not like you have tourists, going through the town to see things. So yeah, Jay was there and he tried to stop him, but it didn't work. Basically, Skip threatened him, I'll get rid of you. I'm gonna start this fire either way. And they were fighting with the can of gasoline, which ended up wetting Jay's jeans. Because that day when he was gone all night, he returns with his jeans cut short, and that's why. And Katie finds them in the woods around, and he tells her, now you can get rid of me, but she doesn't want to. Anyway, then that night, they finally learned what May was trying to tell them. I hope her name was May. She was trying to warn them that Uncle Frank's house is going to fall apart. Now, with that mining accident coming to the 30th anniversary, and because the mine was flooded back then, the ground is no longer stable where they are. Because Katie hears that on the first day that they arrive into Newquay. She falls down the porch stairs, and then she hears it, and she thinks, oh my God, what if it's knackers? But it's not. It's just the ground. And it looks like that night, it's really about, that night, that's it. The house is finally about to fall apart. Because she and Jay, in the hall, they go to sleep, all of them, and then Katie wakes up, she feels her bed moved, and Jay's lamp fell from the table, and they go, and they see that the mirror also fell and broke. That's when they see May again, and finally that is it, she says, go away, get out of here, leave the house. And then the mom comes out, and she thinks they've done something, because that mirror was supposed to be a wedding gift to Frank's son. But then they start telling her they need to leave, and she's like, no, and Uncle Frank's calling them from downstairs, and demanding, someone come down and tell me what's going on. So eventually the mom just agrees, they go down, she tells them, we have to get out of here. We have to leave, the house is going to fall apart. And of course, Uncle Frank refuses, and he fights them on this, but they end up leaving. The mom's like, okay, we'll go outside. And Uncle Frank's like, you go, I'm staying here. And then the three of them get out. She said, okay, I'm going to go convince Uncle Frank to come out with us, but he ends up locking the door with a key. They didn't make it, and they're like, shit. So now, Katie runs to her friend Joan's house. I don't even try to pronounce Joan's surname, because I don't think I'd be able to. But she knocks, well, she doesn't even knock it, she just goes in, the door's unlocked, trusting people. And she yells for help, and the dad runs down and goes with her, and then Joan runs with them as well, and they run back up. And her mom's standing there. But in the meantime, Jay broke a window and went into the house to go get Uncle Frank. Joan's dad goes in there as well. But then they hear more ramblings, and a lot of other neighbors come around. And then some gas leaks inside, and there's an explosion, fire starting. And again, the house keeps swaying. It's going to fall. And then Katie runs forward, and she sees Jay at the front door. He's trying to open it. And she runs forward, And then she starts pulling and he's pushing. And the door ends up breaking. And then the floor underneath them as well on the porch. Katie and Jay fall in. But then they're pulled out. Now inside of the house you see Uncle Frank and Joan's dad unconscious. But they're all saved. All of them are pulled out of there in time. And then the house collapses. And Katie says that the thing that she always remember from this, because as all this is going around, she looks and she sees May's ghost, which the reason she found out who this is, she described it to Joan's grandmother, who told her about the knackers. And that's how she knew who this was. So then Joan also believed her that, yeah, she really did see a ghost. So you see May basically saying goodbye and leaving. I guess she stuck around all this time to make sure Frank's dad was going to be okay. Good lady. Or young lady. The ages are not described. And now, this book came out in 84, or at least this edition. So I don't know what would have... I guess in Uncle Frank time when he would be young, it would be in, the early 1900s? So it's 30 years, so yeah, it would be the 50s? So I'm not sure. Maybe his son and May were maybe just 16, 17 years old. Not that much older than Jay. Jay's 15. Katie, I'm not sure. I'd say she's probably around, she's either 11 or 12, I think. But anyway, yeah, so May says goodbye, and that's it. They sleep with Joan's family for a bit. Jay has hurt his shoulder saving Joan's dad and Uncle Frank. Now Uncle Frank, luckily, is going to be all right. He'll recover in a few weeks. Katie's mom says, well, that's it. They're going to come back to Milwaukee, and in a few weeks they're going to go and retrieve Uncle Frank, and he'll live with them, and somehow they'll manage. He'll just sleep with Jay in his room. I imagine they don't have a big place. So it's sad because all the possessions and everything they brought with them is now destroyed. So I wonder if Uncle Frank is going to get something for that house or not. I guess not, since it's completely destroyed now. Jesus. But that's it, and Katie's wondering, will Jay stay with them, but it looks like, yeah, he will. So that's it. They're going to be a family now. Her mom, Jay, and Uncle Frank. And that's it. That's where the story ends. Jay says at the end there, I'm just going to go and pick up Uncle Frank. 1 second. Yeah, and then they, there we go. Yeah, that's it. That's where the book basically ends. That's our little ghost story. Alright, so first cover. Now, this particular edition, the cover is really cool looking. Look at that. I mean, that's eye-catching. The pink around the blues here, and that's supposed to be Katie. Though she doesn't wear anything that looks like this for sleep, I can tell you that. And that's supposed to be May. But yeah, as you can see, the style of clothing is confusing, because this nightgown looks... And again, this is Joan. And then, sorry, not Joan. This is Katie. But yeah, again, I'm pretty sure. Again, the styles are confusing. Like for May, this would I think make sense, considering the time period where she was young and alive. That too. But still, it's a very catching cover. Fetching cover, sorry. It looks really good. Oh, okay. Oh, look at this. That's why I love secondhand books. Because look at that. You get all sorts of writing inside, and it's really cool. Oh, look, there's a sticker there. Belongs to Miss Hunbar. Please return. And look, there's even... I think this is Spanish. If anyone watches this far in, can you tell me if that's Spanish? I should ask Mr. Metarog, but I think it says apartment. Yes, that's why I love it, because you get all this, and even where it was donated from. How long ago that was, of course. Yeah, all sorts. There's another chapter where there's some writing in it, but yeah. It's really cool to see what people left behind, because as you can see, it's a really fucking old copy. I didn't even wrap it, because I was afraid I would destroy it if I tried. But yeah, okay, now for story. Story's pretty good for what it is. You got a bit of a mystery there, some family drama of Katie and her. Maybe some more details would have been nice about Katie's stepfather, at least a little bit of that. But for what it was really entertaining and fun to read. And are there really ghosts in the story or not? For some reason, it brought me back to thinking about Goosebumps. For some reason. I don't know why. But it did. I mean, not that the styles are exactly similar, but I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, I kept thinking of Goosebumps as I read this. But anyway, it's a really fun story to read. If I found any more of Betty Ren Wright's books, I think I would pick one up. Especially that Dollhouse Murders. That one sounds really good. But yeah, overall, this was a really fun story to read. I would really recommend it if you want something short and fun to read. It's got a little bit of a ghost story in there. I definitely would recommend this one. Or if you read anything else before of Miss Wright and you want to try some more. So yeah, this again, third or fourth time, this was a really fun read. I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, if I find more in the future, I think I will get it. I have a feeling it might be a little harder to get her books now, considering how much time has passed. But yeah, nice. Again, fantastic cover. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know what you thought of Ghosts Beneath Our Feet, or what do you know about Mrs. Wright. Let me know. And that's it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about, share it on YouTube. Bye!